Hi, everyone. Just before 5 p.m. Paris time on Tuesday, yesterday, significant news broke out from Washington, D.C. A famous journalist by the name of Jeff Goldberg, the boss at The Atlantic, publication I like a lot, was included accidentally in a group chat involving U.S. officials on a very special topic, very sensitive topic of the U.S.'s war plan in Yemen and against the Houthis in particular. This is a striking blunder, to say the least. Donald Trump just came out saying, look, it's just a blip. It's going to be okay. It has no consequences. Well, obviously it does. It does for a couple of reasons that I think we may be overlooking, and I want to tell you why. Number one, yes, it is an incident. Yes, it is a blunder. And yes, the US administration is probably glad it's Jeffrey Goldberg and not an Iranian or a Chinese official, obviously. But I think beyond the blunder, there's something else going on. Donald Trump uh, tried to build a brand name over the past few weeks since inauguration around this idea of common sense, right? It's not hard to run government, it's just about common sense. Implicitly or explicitly, the Democrats had lost common sense in the past. Well, we're seeing that running government, especially running sensitive operations such as the one the US led in Yemen, well, common sense may not be enough. You actually need competence, you actually need know how. And Donald Trump choosing a lot of loyal people around this idea of common sense, well, is hitting a wall. And we're seeing this. I know personally how hard it is to get a security clearance in the United States. I can tell you it's a grueling process. I can tell you it's a very intrusive process. And I'm only thinking that inside the US government right now, there are probably a lot of unhappy people making a whole lot of efforts to deal with these sensitive pieces of information when the administration is really not making the efforts needed. So, this is the wall that this administration is hitting. A brand name around common sense is appealing, but it has its limits. The second thing that I think is really important that I really want to underscore. Yes, the Europeans were targeted in these messages. They were targeted with incredibly disturbing language. They were called parasites. I want to make clear that yes, I am disturbed by those words too, but be incredibly careful and do not misunderstand what these are. I don't think they're targeting Europe as in we need to take Europe down. I think this has just become gang language, mafia language of people who really want to repeat the brand message of Europe is bad. As Europeans, you may find this disturbing, and rightfully so, but if you basically get bogged down by that word, I think you're missing the bigger picture and the overall lesson of all of this conversation, namely, again, about the reliability of the US as an ally over the next 4 years. It's time to get your act together. I think we're way past the point at which we're getting all very emotional about this language. This is the new normal. It's time to get past this. And now we actually have solid grounds and solid motivation to figure out a way forward with this. I think the rest of the world is looking at the West. The West doesn't exist anymore. The United States is basically declaring divorce from the Europeans. So I think it's time the Europeans offer a viable alternative, one that is in their interest, one that guarantees multilateral approaches and multilateralism. I'm kind of sensing, a little bit of shyness on the part of the European Union and the part of European partners, and I think this is time for Europeans to act. Thanks for listening. Just hit reply if you have any comments or if you think I'm missing anything.